So we gotta work on a Ford, so you gotta bring all your tools. This is the easiest way. So we're gonna do a little bit of maintenance because we don't use the truck a whole lot in the winter, so we're gonna do a lot of maintenance now, get it ready for next year. So number one being an oil change. Now the way that these Cummins motors are really squeezed into these Ford engine bays is it's pretty surprising considering the Ford trucks are always looking bigger. I think physically they are bigger if you look at the dimensions, but the engine bays are a lot tighter. So this oil filter here, there's no way possible you can get at it from underneath the truck, just with all the wires and the way the cross members are on these Ford trucks. So, and even to get it from the top, you could probably squeeze it, but it'd make life a whole lot easier if you remove the whole air filter, the whole right from the turbo, so the big L here, and the air pod. I need a new pod anyways, you can see. So that has to come off anyways, really. So we're gonna start with that. We're taking that whole L off. I don't have the oil or filter yet, but the parts, I ordered them through Napa. They're coming tomorrow. So I'm taking the air filter off so I can match one up like exactly the same for what, because that's as big as I can fit in there in that little spot. So I need one just like that. So I'm gonna bring that in tomorrow. And while we're at it, we'll check if the turbo has some play. And also I noticed this. I didn't loosen anything up yet. That clamp there is extremely loose, so I would not be surprised if I'm losing quite a bit of boost through there. Although I haven't noticed a difference since I had it on the dyno, so maybe it came loose, or the truck potentially could make more power than it's supposed, or can potentially make more power, because that could be a pretty big boost leak there. This might be a little bit of a pain. Oh, well, that wasn't very tight. That's good. You always want your air filter on loose. Try not to get any inside of your turbo. It's pretty road grimy. Although it is extremely clean. So we're lucky a little bit. That's might have been brake clean that I was spraying, or oil. But if you shine, Chris, you shine a light in there. So as you should be able to see, it is extremely clean in there. I don't see any dirt or anything. So the air filter was on, but yeah, I guess that means things you don't expect to look at, you should look at, because that air filter just popped off. So that could have been, that could have potentially been an engine failure. Yeah. So now that we have that off, you should, anytime you're working around your turbo, check it for play. If it feels tight, or you can feel a tiniest bit of movement, that usually means you're okay. If it moves and you can hear it clicking, that's usually, so you can't hear that, but I can feel it's moving, like it's barely moving. It feels brand new. So the turbo's fine in terms of play. Now, I'm not a big turbo expert here. As you can see now, I don't think we ever showed this close up, but there's a 3rd gen manifold on the 2nd gen motor. Whether that turbo is off a 3rd gen or a 2nd gen, I'm not sure. So if it's off a 2nd gen, it's like an HX or an HY35, I believe. If it's off a common rail, it'd be like HE351. I don't think there's a big difference. Maybe there is. I don't know. You can let me know what that is, because they painted right over top of the chrome plate, where it would say what it is. And I don't feel like researching it, because really the truck runs good, so whatever it has is good. So because we're not just replacing an air filter, we're gonna be taking that oil filter off, and there's all like road grime on this engine bay. We're gonna be covering up the turbo. We're gonna try using surgical gloves. These might break, but basically if you get it right around the turbo, there's nothing going in, so we will try. Oh, it ripped. The gloves are a little bit too, well, they rip too easy, so probably a bag and elastic will work. So I just put a blue rag in there just for whatever, because I had it, and then I just put a plastic bag with an elastic around the turbo, so there's no way stuff's getting in there. And we're back. It's the next day. I picked up some Rotella oil from Napa and a Napa Master Gold filter. So we're gonna do an oil change. I believe it's a 19 mil, we'll find out. And make sure you have an oil pan that fits the capacity. So this truck takes 11 US quarts, which is about 12 Canadian liters. So I have 15 liters, don't touch on my thing. 15 liters of oil, 3C. And I got, that thing holds 19 liters of oil, so my drain pan's fine. It's always a pain in the ass when you, like I was about to use that one. I was about to use that one, which is only 7 liters. So that wouldn't have been very clean.
It's family friendly, I don't want that shit on our channel.
So start off by just cracking it loose. Make sure you got it the right way. Lefty loosey. Sometimes people like to torque these to NASA spec, which is, you know, times everything by 10 billion. Okay, it's loose. Once you just get it cracked, you can just get it with your hand. Make sure you got your oil pan. There's really not much space under here. The truck looks like it sits tall, but it really doesn't. I need rags, by the way, Chris.
Yep.
So it's impossible to get your hand out of the way. I need rags. Very consistent stream. Now we wait. Okay. A little bit of a pain in the butt to get at that, but can't be as bad as like a newer Power Stroke or even a new 6.7 Fummins. So this is the filter we got through our trusty Napa. I can't remember the price on it, but they aren't overly expensive. So with your filter, you're gonna want to fill it. Lots of people fill them right full. I find whenever I take them off, they're not right full, so. But whatever, I'm just gonna fill it close to the top, and then you wanna oil this ring. That just helps keep it lubricated so that it doesn't get seized on there. So that's what we'll do now. You might want someone to help you with this, because this is kind of hard to do with my hand. So it can be messy. I recommend using a funnel. We didn't think of that, but we spilled a little bit. Just trying to get some out of this edge here. And then, yeah, make sure you oil up that ring. The way we did it, it basically pre-oiled itself. I guess at this point, I recommend using gloves. I'm not a professional at this, but I've heard that they'll actually tighten themselves. Like, they'll slowly tighten themselves up when it's hand tight. So the vibration of the truck will actually tighten it up, I've heard. Whether that's true or not, I don't generally hear of oil filters coming off. So now we just gotta put the drain plug back in, feed it some oil, and should be good to go. So my oil of choice this time around is Rotella. I know lots of people run their Rotella synthetic. I just for ease of, I guess, getting oil, I'm not running synthetic. And I keep up on my oil changes, so it's, some people run synthetics, they can go longer on an oil change. Some people run it just because they think it's better for the vehicle, which I'm sure it probably is, but we've always just ran regular oil. We're on a farm, all our tractors run regular oil, so it's just easy to get, and it's what we use, so that's what I'm using. So we put probably, you can see on here, put about 4.5. We put like 3/4 of a liter in the filter. Or is that 4? 4.5. Yeah, so we put about half a liter, a little more than half a liter in the filter itself. So I'm just gonna put 2 full jugs in now. So that'll bring it to 10.5. And it takes like 11 or 12, 11 US quarts, which is I think closer to 12 US liters. I haven't done the conversion. So I'll put 2 jugs in. I can't fire it up because I'm waiting on an air filter, but I'll put 2 jugs in there, probably leave it for today. Tomorrow I'm getting the filter in, I believe. So I'll put the filter on, then start it up, run it for a few minutes, turn it off, check it. And then if it's still, I like it closer to the full line. If it's still under the full line, I'll just add some of that. So the worst feeling is when you forget to do something or forget to put something back on. So we're just dumping this oil out here, and this washer was there. Now I don't know if this was sitting in there from a tractor, because right now we're doing oil changes on like every piece of farm machinery, or if this is from my truck. Now I know that there is no washer on the bolt I put on, but it does have a wide head, so I'm gonna run it the way it is. If you think that's a bad idea, let me know. I mean, I can spend another $50 and oil change it again. But yeah, that kind of sucks. So this is the intake from the truck. I don't know if this is originally from a Ram or from another vehicle. It's definitely not a Ford one. So I remember when we took it off, it just kind of slipped off. Because I think they had it clamped. I think really a filter is supposed to be right on this ridge here. But this is a way bigger opening. It can actually go right over top of this here. Which I don't know if that's going to be the greatest seal, now that I look at it. So we'll see how this goes. So this part here, I'm not sure, like I don't know if this is from a Dodge or not, but it looks like they hit this with like a grinder, like maybe grind it down. So I was worried it wouldn't seal that great, but there's definitely no gaps there, and how tight I did it. So, plus air always takes the easiest path. So for sure it's easier to go through here than to go through like there. So now we'll try to cram this part back on. We'll try to cram this part back on over the turbo. Make sure it's all clean. Don't want too much sand in your turbo. Preferably none. We left this, so the 2 days that it was off in the making of this video, the 2 days that this was off the truck, it was inside the truck, not in the dusty part of the barn here. So probably best you like wrap it in a bag or something. This is a little bit of pain to get off. It's been painted over. I don't know, it's black plastic, but it was I thought it was like dry rot, but really now that I'm doing this, there's black paint, so it's just paint flaking off. Yeah, they did do a nice paint job in this truck of the engine bay. Now we will install. That wraps up this video. We did an oil change, air filter, oil filter. Just a quick note, you don't have to replace your air filter every time you do your oil filter. That's like every like 5 or 10. Well, if you use the ratings from K&N, it's like 50,000 miles, but I'd probably do it sooner, especially on a diesel truck. So just something to keep in mind. So now we're just gonna start it up and make sure that your levels are good before you drive. So I'm gonna let it idle for a few minutes, just get up to idling or operating temperature. Turn it off, wait 5 minutes so the oil level goes to where it should. Check it. If it's low, add a bit more. If it's high, it shouldn't be. So yeah, thanks for watching. Hit subscribe, like, comment, and we'll see you in the next one.